Hello. So tonight, we're going to focus a lot on legs all the way around. I like to call this my preparing for ski season class. I hear there's maybe some good snow somewhere in the United States right now. So come down and lie on your back. You can move your props away. And you will actually need space on either side of your mat because we're going to take these into some twists eventually. So just make sure that you got some area, some real estate around your mat. Lie down, let your toes drop out. Bring your hands onto your belly. And slowly start to breathe in through your nose. And then out through your nose, keeping your lips gently sealed. Feel as you inhale an expansion not only in the chest, but also in your back. And then exhale. Notice the gentle rise and fall of your hands over your belly. And then make sure that your breath throughout class tonight is constantly reaching for this step, where you feel an inflation all the way down at the bottom tips of your lungs, and then let it slowly build from there up. And then from the top all the way back down. And inhale through your nose. And then exhale. If your feet are wide, bring them hip-width distance apart so that they're long on the mat. And then bring your right knee in. Give it a gentle squeeze. Again, inhale, feel still that space right behind your navel. Feel first, gently pressing into your thigh. And then as you exhale, noticing how your thigh gets a little bit closer to your side ribs. Keep pressing your left leg long and straight, feeling a stretch across the front of that psoas, and shoulders heavy down on the mat. Now with your left hand, gently guide your right knee across your body. You might need to scoot your hips a little bit back behind you. We'll start with a supine spinal twist. So you can let that right hand drop out to the side, open up your right chest, right shoulder. All right, and then let's take it a little bit deeper. With your left hand, find the outside of your right foot. Start to press that right foot towards straight, out to the right side of your mat. Now, if you can't keep your hand on your foot, that right foot, you can find your strap, lace it around that foot. You can also grab just a little bit higher up on the shins, especially if your strap isn't anywhere close. Don't worry about getting up. Just grab a little bit higher on the outside of your right shin. And then with your left leg, so that's the leg that was straight, you're gonna bend it, reach down with your right hand and capture that leg. Use your right hand into that foot to pull your right shoulder down. Now, if this is too much to have an extended top leg, you can also just bend it a little bit. That might make it a little bit easier to shift the left leg back so you can capture it. Just find a place where you can hold opposite foot and opposite leg. Gaze is straight up towards the ceiling. Maybe close your eyes. Inhale for 5. Exhale. Inhale, 4. Exhale. Maybe press a little bit more through your extended right leg if you have it long. Inhale. 3, feel your navel pressing up against the inside of your right thigh. Exhale. Inhale, 2. Drop that right shoulder down as though there was a sandbag, holding your shoulders grounded to the mat. Exhale. Last time, inhale. And as you slowly let the breath slip out, you can let your hands release from your leg. Extend your left leg long. Bend your right knee. And with your left hand, gently guide your right knee back, rolling onto your back. Ooh, extend both legs. Now pull your left knee in. Take both hands, interlace them, gently pull your left knee in towards your side ribs. Extend your right leg long. If your neck is crunched up, pull that long as well. So your spine is rested on the mat. It's extended and supported. Keep your eyes maybe drifted halfway closed. Breathe in, feel compression. And exhale, a little bit more room to take this knee in, up, and closer to your ribs. All right, now with your right hand, you're going to guide your left knee across. I'm going to scoot over a little bit so I got a little bit more room. Bring that left knee down. Extend your left arm out to the side. Keep pressing your right bottom leg straight. Let the back of your head rest on the mat. And then this twist, find some expansion through your extended left arm, through your right leg, through the crown of your head, and then through your knee out to the opposite side. So in 4 directions. Like you're sprawling, getting long, twisting a little bit more right at the core. Right, now, with your right hand, find your left foot, the outer side, and start to extend that out. Again, you can reach for the outside of your calf, your shin. Get a good hold there, or if your strap is close by, you can lasso that foot. All right, now you're gonna start to shift that bottom leg a little bit back behind you, bend your knee, reach up, capture that. Might even have to look up and then rest your left shoulder back down towards the mat. Make any small adjustments so that you can hold and sustain some semblance of this pose. So this is called cat chasing tail, which is kind of fun. Like kind of all mixed up, like what hand is in what foot. Maybe the bottom leg could be your tail. All right, and then we'll take 5 breaths. Inhale. And slow exhale. Notice if as you breathe in, you tense. Inhale. See if you can keep an ease in your muscles. Exhale, feel everything melts and get a little bit flatter. Inhale. Keeping the breath moving in and out through your nose across the back of your throat. Exhale. Breath in. Do you still have a depth where you're feeling the bottom tips of your lungs first? Exhale. And then last breath in. As you exhale, let the shape slip out of your fingertips. Extend your right leg long, pull your left foot in, gently guide it back up. Come to lay down on the mat. This time knees bent. And then drop both knees to the right and then to the left in a gentle windshield wiper. And then move your awareness to the very base of your spine, rolling over your sacrum as you let the knees drop from one side to the other. All right. Now from here, bring both knees up and find your block. Now, if you don't have a block, you can use a blanket or a pillow. We're gonna squeeze the block between our knees for our abdominal workout. So, placing the block in between the knees, bring the feet up and bend your knees coming to a 90-degree bend so that your shins are parallel with the ground. Flex your toes back, keep squeezing so that if you reached up and tried to pull this block or blanket out, it wouldn't move. It would not move. All right, interlace your hand and try and take the opposite interlace. So with the funky finger on top, it feels just a little bit abnormal. Let's change out those neural pathways. And then wrapping around the top of your skull, or the back of your skull rather, lengthen and support the weight of your head a little bit in your arms. Keep your feet flexed. Inhale. Exhale, pull both elbow tips straight up and then over to the left. Now hold the lift. Reach your right leg straight up to the ceiling. Exhale, curl a little bit deeper. Keep a squeeze in that block. Inhale. Bring your chest back into the middle. Keep your shoulders elevated. So there's still a slight, not aggravation, a slight, can't even find my words, integration in the core here. So you're not totally letting them rest in between. Keep your feet flexed. Inhale. Support the weight of your head. Exhale, curl up, both elbow tips to the right. Now squeeze the block. Reach your left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Flex those toes. And then exhale, curl a little bit deeper. Draw your navel in, down towards your spine. Inhale, come to center. Both knees bent, feet flexed back. Squeeze the block. Curl up, both elbow tips to the left. Now hold, squeeze the block. Reach your right leg straight up. As you reach that right leg straight up, maybe feel your hips lift just slightly off the ground. Exhale, curl up a little bit deeper. Keep using your hands to lengthen those last 7 vertebrae of the spine and your feet active. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, curl your elbow tips up, both elbow tips over to the right knee. Squeeze the block, inhale, hold. Lift your knees a little bit higher. Left leg extend. Curl up a little bit deeper. Inhale, come to center. Relax your head and neck down. And then bring your feet down to the mat. Keep squeezing whatever prop is between your knees. Elongate your arms down by your side. Grab hold of the edges of your mat. Inhale, slowly press up into bridge pose. Walk your shoulders under your chest. Expand from shoulder head to shoulder head. Press your feet down, squeeze that block. Inhale and exhale. How do you change where you hold or feel this pose on your inhale? And where does it shift as you exhale? Can you keep yourself strong and integrated on both sides of your breath? Exhale slowly. Lower yourself back down. You're going to take that block out, move it to the side, and then roll onto one side. Come all the way up onto all fours. Place your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, lift your gaze, pull your chest through your arms, and keep your finger pads rooted down. Exhale, drop your gaze into your knees. Find a flexion in your spine. Inhale, extend. And then exhale, flex. From here, drop down onto your forearms. Grab opposite bicep. We're going to move quickly into a dolphin pose. Spread your fingers wide and then really anchor down that space between your thumb and your pointer finger. So it likes to raise up like pita pits. We're going to flatten them out like tortillas. I don't know, maybe I'm hungry tonight. Press that down, press your forearms down, lift your hips high. Now your feet, or your hamstrings rather, might be a little bit tight. We haven't gotten there yet in class tonight, so you can open your legs out wide. Press your forearms down so that your gaze shifts back and you're actually peering back between both of your legs. Crown of your head is lifted. Work to pull your elbow tips towards each other and press the mat away by pressing your forearms more into the mat. Take an inhale, maybe walk your feet in a little bit closer. Exhale, see if you can move more of the weight into your heels by again pressing your forearms down and elbow tips in. Anchor your finger pads, take another deep breath in. Exhale slowly, bring your knees down to the mat. Come back up to all fours, swing your legs around, and come to a comfortable seat. Whew. With fingertips by your side, roll your shoulders up to your ears together, and then down your back. And forward, up, together, and down your mat. All right. Then move your hands out in front of you. You're going to unwind your legs. We're going to find Padangustasana. I don't think we've done this one for a while. So it's also called square sit pose or fire log pose. So we're going to start with our right leg on the bottom. You want your shin to be out in front of you, your foot flexed. And then take your left leg up over top. Now, you want the outside edge of your foot to kind of hang off your leg, so the outside of your ankle is on the inside of your knee. And then these two shins will stack like logs on a very organized fire. If you gaze down in front of you, and this is even true if your legs are pretty high up, you have really tight outer hips, you're going to see a triangle, an equilateral triangle between thigh, stacked shins, stacked-ish, and your other thigh, with your pelvis right in the middle of that equilateral triangle. Curl your toes back, and then lift your left side. Take a good grip on your glutes and scoop them back. And then lean over, do that on the bottom, opposite side too, so that both of your hip points, or pelvis rather, is pressing down into the mat. Then pull your fingertips into your side. You want to tent them, press them down so that you lengthen your spine. And as you do that, you'll see a little pelvic tilt happen, and your shins will start to compress a little bit more. If this is absolutely excruciating on your outer hips and just not there tonight, then extend the bottom leg so that you have a figure 4 instead. So your equilateral triangle will be a little bit off to one side, but it's still there. Continue to press the pads of your fingers down into the mat. So lengthen the crown of your head and then bring your eyes to close. Move your awareness back to your breath. I want you to think of a little point in space so that you can narrow your focus on that point. And you might visualize a point, just a little white speck in a field of black. And then physically, that point, that focus is your breath. So you let even the shape start to take a secondary focus as you only think about your breath, the inhale and the exhale. All the peripheral starts to fade away, get grainy and fuzzy, and then black. The one thing that you have to do right here in this moment is breathe. Take another inhale. And then as you exhale, start to walk your hands forward, taking a gentle forward fold. Now, the amount of hinge that you find here at your hips might be very small. Do your best not to let your shoulders make you think that you're folding deeper. Keep your shoulders back. You even keep your fingers grounded to start, so you're still pushing into the mat. Pull your shoulder heads together on your back, shoulder blades down. And then if you want to, if you feel like you're doing a good job maintaining that straight back, maybe walk your hands forward. You can keep them by the side, maybe all the way in front of you. Or if you want just a little extra weight to bring that top shin down, you can rest your elbows on that top shin. I like this option, especially if I think I might start rounding in my back. You can let the thumbs actually hook to the inside of your eye sockets, the inner upper corner. And just rest the weight of your head there. Again, when you find a fold that is your edge tonight, start to close your eyes. Visualize that one little spot of focus. And let it be your breath. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Last time, inhale slowly. Pick yourself up. Release your hands back down by your side. Exhale, begin to slip that bottom leg out and the top leg out. Ooh. And then open your legs out wide, but not to your fullest extent of width. Walk your hands forward. Keep your toes flexed back. If you want to and you have a block, you can bring the block down to let your forehead rest upon. And if you find that you can't get very comfortable in this wide leg forward fold, then take your thighs, lift them up, and actually externally rotate them. So out. So a lot of times we think we want to fold them in, but by opening them out, you actually get a better fold forward. Take just 2 more breaths here. Keep pressing out through the bottom of your feet as though your feet were pressing into walls. Imagine right at the very top of your legs, there were 2 sandbags lying down, keeping your hips anchored. And slowly lift yourself up, move the block away, and walk your hands back in. Now bringing your left leg in on the bottom, flex your foot, shin comes out in front of you. Take the right leg around, flex that foot. Again, let the outside edge of that foot kind of hang off of the side of the knee. So the inside of your ankle, that bony part, or the outside of your ankle, that bony part, nestles right to the inside of your knee. Flex your feet, scoop back both glutes. So you feel those hip points, and then finger pads come in by your side, press down, lengthen your spine. Keep your feet flexed back. Maybe gaze down, make sure you've got that equilateral triangle. Again, you can always extend the bottom leg, and if you do have that bottom leg extended, same thing, you'll keep it extended as we forward fold. You'll still get a deep fold. You'll increase just slightly that sensation on the outside of your hips. Let your eyes come to close. Notice your breath moving in and out through your nose. And when you find, that you're pushing through your finger pads, your spine is long, that top knee is dropped down as far as it'll go. Hold that muscular integration. I think that's the word I was looking for earlier, integration. And then pausing there in the physical body, just shift your awareness back to your breath. Notice if the cadence has slowed or sped up. If it's equal on both sides, the inhale and the exhale. And if you've maintained the depth, or if it started to get a little bit more shallow, like maybe just to the mid-ribs, start to pull your breath longer. And then maintaining a straight spine on your next exhale, start to hinge forward into a fold. Keep those toes flexed back. Take a couple breaths to find a deep fold for you. Keeping those shoulder heads dropping back. So it's almost like this front shin and your shoulders were opposite magnets, right? And so even though your chest drops through, those shoulders keep pulling back. And if you kept your hands on the ground, you can do that. Or if you added the extra weight of your elbows onto that top leg on the other side, then do the same thing on this side. So quite often our hips are very different, especially if you do something like playing soccer where you're kicking from one side. And so it takes a lot of work to even out both sides. You also might just have a preference, like I have a standing desk, I always have one leg locked out. Funny habit, right? And again, let your eyes start to settle, maybe lids get heavy. And in a forward fold, this might be very intense physically, the shape. Let's see if you can find that edge, set into that edge, and then drift your awareness back into your breath. Let that single point of focus be like a furnace. So that you build heat. You can start to mold your physical body a little bit. So that edge starts to drift a little bit more, a little bit deeper. Take one more deep breath in and out. Then initiating this breath, find a lift back up. And hands drop out to the side. Extend both legs out in front of you. This time keeping them straight forward in front of you, and then just wiggle them a little bit from side to side. All right, take your left leg, draw it in. Heel comes right in towards your pelvis. Right knee bends up towards the ceiling. And then you'll set that leg behind you, or that foot rather, that bottom foot in a little bit more. So you're sitting nice and upright. You can use your hands, pull that shin in to get a nice tall lift. And then you're going to take your right arm behind you, press it down right at the base of your spine. So again, you're finding a little bit of support to keep your spine nice and long. Inhale, raise your left arm up, and then exhale, take a gentle twist. So you can hug that forearm around the knee. You can bring it to the outside of that knee, palm shining forward. And if you have a lot of flexibility, this is something that I just can never get this full bind. You can actually drop this top hand through the legs and bind fully. For me, that just does not feel great. So I like to take it just right to here. Find a gentle twist in your spine, opening in your right shoulder, dropping back behind you. Slowly unwind. Extend both feet, give them a little twist, shake. Then pull the right leg in, heel right at your pelvis. Bend your left knee, plant that left foot, and then slide the right foot back just a little bit closer to the pelvis. Interlace both hands, grab your left shin, lift up. Keep stomping that left foot down on the floor. Releasing, take your left hand right at the base of your spine. Press down so that you're, again, using your arm like scaffolding, supporting around your spine, keeping it nice and upright. And then you can either grab that left knee, draw it in as you twist, hug your forearm around, twist, or bring the elbow to the inside to get a really deep twist. The arm can shine open. And if you want to, you can slip that arm through the leg to get a full bind. One thing about the full bind, though, is if you remove that back hand and you reach through and grab the other palm, just make sure that you're staying upright in the spine and not rounding in your back, compromising that structure to get the fingertips to touch. Next, exhale, slowly release. Spend a lot of time down on the mat. Start to bring it a little bit more upright. Slowly coming into all fours. Bend your hands, tuck your toes, and lift up into a shortened down dog. Feel that opening in your shoulders from the twist, and then gently walk your feet forward. All right. So you may want your block and a pad underneath your knee, so the blanket. As we move into this sun salutation flow. Inhale, press into your shins, lift halfway. Make sure your feet are hip width distance apart. And then exhale, slowly fold down into your Uttanasana. We're going to hold this Uttanasana for a little bit. Keep your knees gently bent. Feel your ribs rest onto your thighs. And then let the head hang so that the weight of your head is pulling you down a little bit deeper into your folds. Gaze down at your feet. Press your heels down. Lift your toes up and then see if you can spread them wide. So you feel a very strong anchoring all the way through your foot. If you want to, you can grab gently behind your shins and hold yourself down a little bit deeper. Inhale. Again, take a halfway lift. Rise your heart up. Engage your core. Exhale, fold. Keep your arms wide. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Look up. Breathe in. And breathe out. Press through your feet again. Reach your arms up even more. Then exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Pause here. Again, draw your shoulder heads back. Feel yourself shift just slightly forward and back until you find a good balance where you're strongly situated over your legs. So you don't have more weight in the heels, you don't have more weight in the toes. Instead, there's a balance front to back. Reach your arms back up. Inhale. Exhale. Take a forward fold, Uttanasana. Step your left leg back into a nice long lunge. Lift that heel up, gaze forward. And then exhale, lower your left knee down, using the blanket if you'd like. Inhale, sweep your arms up, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. You can keep those back toes tucked or press the top of that back foot down, whatever feels better. And then we're going to take it into a side stretch. So you also might want to block here. You can place it outside of your right hip. Place your right hand down into that block. Inhale, lift your left arm straight up. And then reach your left arm overhead so it's bowing over to the right side. Draw your right foot, your front knee, a little bit more forward. And breathe into the ribs on that left side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, bend your left elbow. Bring it down outside your right knee. Keep a fist. Place the right hand on top of that fist. And then pressing palm into fist, pull your chest away from that. Maybe lift your gaze back over your right shoulder. Notice if you're letting your core just rest on that right thigh. See if you can pull even your core up by pressing your elbow more into your knee. And then if your back toes were flat, tuck them. Keep your gaze back behind you, so a little bit of balance. Begin to hover and then lift that left knee off the ground. So we're in a prayer twist, the left side high lunge. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last time, think of that single point of focus, your breath. In and then out. Slowly release. Place both of your hands down to the inside of your right foot. And then trying not to make a swishing sound on your mat, You're gonna press your hands down and lift, and then step your right leg back to meet your left. Find plank. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Press the tops of your feet down, hands under your shoulders. Inhale, low cobra pose. Press and activate your legs. And then exhale, release. Tuck your toes. Inhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg high. And then exhale, step your left leg forward to the left side of your mat. So right by your left thumb. Draw your chest forward and through. Keep your right leg very strong and active. And then exhale, lower your right knee down to the mat. All right, we're not even going to come up into our Hasta or our low lunge. Instead, keep your finger pads down. Keep your ribs on your front thigh. And then just shift your hips back for half splits, Hanumanasana. Now, you can take the block, bring it to the inside of your front foot so that you have a little bit more length. That can be on the higher heights. You can use a water bottle. Well, once you shift back, hips over the same plane as that right knee, pull your left toes back. If you'd like to, you can stay here, or if you want to move a little bit deeper into a full split, two options. You can shimmy a little bit closer to the front of the mat if you have like a wood floor or something like that. Place your heel. This is not a good example. I'll do it kind of off to the side. Place your heel on a blanket or a block, and then exhale, shift forward. Inhale, pull back, exhale, forward. Another option, if you're working with a block today, you can take a block and on the high or medium or low height, place it down underneath your front thigh. Keep pulling that right hip around. So that's very important if you're going into full Hanuman or full splits, so that you're not doing a split out to the side, but your hips stay square. And then in either your Ardha or your full Hanumanasana, again, set yourself up. Find integration in the muscles. Keep pulling that left hip back, right hip forward, and then close your eyes. 3 breaths. Inhale, pull it down to your navel. Exhale, navel in as you release. Inhale deep. Exhale. Last time, breath in. And breath out. If you're in the full Hanumanasana, come forward so that you can plant your hands down into the ground. Pull your left heel back until you're back into the half split. And then everybody plant your left foot down. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee up, gaze forward, inhale. Exhale, step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold, feet hip width distance apart. And you're gonna bend your knees. If you have that block, place it in between your knees and squeeze the block. Sit your hips back. So this weight now will shift a little bit more into your heel. And inhale, reach your arms up for Utkatasana, chair pose. Now, once you get up and start to lift your arms up in line, biceps by your ears, notice if as you raise your arms up, you take a deep compression in your low back. Arm is like the same color as my shirt. It's back here. So if you feel like you have that compression, maybe just bring the arms up to here so that your hips can stay low, your low back can stay long, and you don't hinge and create a real big swale in your lumbar spine. Everybody, see if you can lower your hips down a little bit more. Press your feet down into the mat. Start to squeeze that block even harder, feeling your quads turn on. Inhale. And then exhale, fold. Remove the block, set it off to the side. Step your right leg back. Take a nice long lunge. Again, if you were using the blanket, you can place it underneath your knee. And then slowly lower it down. Reach your arms up, Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Keep this left knee tracking forward, slightly in so you don't rock to the outside of your front foot. And then bring the block to the outside of your left hip. Drop your left hand down to that block. Reach your right arm up, stretch, you feel it from the hip point all the way up, maybe even back down to your knee across the front of your leg. And then exhale, arc your right fingertips overhead, palm down. So that palm down actually creates an internal rotation in your arm, and that'll help keep integration around your shoulder head. Do you feel muscles start to turn on in your armpit? Stretch your right fingers even more to the left side. Pull your left front knee more forward. And then make a fist with that top arm. Bring it to the outside of your left knee. Reach your left arm up, like rock, paper, scissors, palm over the fist, and then gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Notice if you're using that front thigh to rest your core down, and instead try and draw your navel back as you take that twist a little bit deeper into the pose. All right, now keeping your gaze locked, tuck those back toes. Slowly start to press through that back heel, lift your right knee up. Keep your gaze back, take another 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale, release both hands down to the inside of your left foot. Bring that block away. And then press your hands down, press your spine up, engage your core. See if you can lift the left leg and set it back in plank. Take a breath in. Exhale, rock forward, lower all the way down to the mat. Press the tops of your feet down, pull your shoulder heads up. Padangustasana, cobra pose. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, activate your legs, press up, inhale. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step your right foot forward by your right hand. All right, so rock forward, glue thigh to wrist. Lower your left knee down. Grab that block if you did on the other side. And then keeping like you had Velcro on these right ribs and right thigh, start to shift your hips back. Keeping, so that'll keep that hinge right here instead of rounding. Then once you get there, you'll pull your right toes back, finding your half split. Keep pulling that right hip back, left hip forward. So you're finding this scissor-like action, right? So you're pulling the blades against each other. We all know, like when kids start to use scissors and there's not that tension at the edge, you can't even cut a string. But once you start to pull those two edges close to each other, like your legs, you find that muscular integration. That's what we want to do, even when we find extension here. So if you are interested in going further into full splits, and full splits can be just a little bit more forward where your hips are in front of the plane of that back knee. So if you'd like using the blanket, so heel can be on the blanket, hands can be on a block or on the ground, and as you exhale, you press forward, inhale, pull back. Exhale, push forward, inhale, pull back until you find the depth of the pose that is comfortable for you to hold tonight. If you like the block, you can place that any height underneath the head of your quad, or really, really more like the top of your hamstring, right? So at the top part of that thigh. And still find that tension between sides, between the blades of a scissor. And then we'll take 3 breaths, eyes closed. Inhale. Exhale. Deep breath in, pulling that left hip forward. Lifting from your hips up through your spine, or straight if you're still in that half splits in the hold. Deep breath in and out. And then if you're in the full Hanumanasana variation, come forward so that your hands can come to the mat and pull that front heel back so that you come back into that half splits. Hips over that back knee, and then bend your front knee, come forward. Place both hands onto the mat, lift your back knee, and then big step forward, Uttanasana, front of your mat. You can do with or without the block this time. As we bend our knees, sit our hips down and back, and inhale, come up to Uttanasana, chair pose. Again, remembering to maybe just come up with arms forward to start. Back, this could be good. If you do have a block, try just squeezing the block between your palms. So then you're integrating at your shoulders. Sit a little bit more down in your hips. And then keeping the squeeze on the block, maybe lift your arms up. Feel those quads turn on. And then we're going to slowly press to straight. And if you have the block, just set it down to the side. All right, so final posture, standing. We finally got all the way up to standing. You're going to want to strap. So if you don't have a yoga strap, please grab, like a scarf, a belt, a handbag, a thin blanket, something like that. All right. And then you can just put whatever item you're using over your shoulder. All right. Press down through both feet evenly. Find that alignment so that you are not too far forward, not too far back, but hips, shoulders stack over your heel. Right, now move the weight into your right foot. So I will be mirroring you. And as we do this twist, hopefully I keep my rights and lefts even. Right. All right. Interlace your hands. Capture right below your knee and draw that in. Foot flex. Press here through your standing leg. And so you find that time by pressing down equal and opposite. And right now, that is your single point of focus. That right leg pressing down into the mat. Now you're going to take the strap in both hands and you're going to bring it across the bottom of your foot. Start to press your foot out in front of you. So you want it right across the middle so that the strap will actually nestle up into the high part of your arch. Pull your shoulder heads back. Press through your foot. So now we have 2 points. The right foot down, the left foot forward. Now, if it doesn't come all the way up, that's totally fine. But if it does come up and you're super flexy, try and keep it parallel with the ground. Now, with your right hand, you're going to choke up on that strap and then bring your left hand to your hip. Start to pull the strap across. So you're crossing that over to the right side and extend your left arm out. Breath in and out. As you press down, your head lifts. As you press out through your left foot, your right arm or left arm gets longer. Slowly come back into center. Bend your knee, remove the strap, then set that foot down. And then step out a little bit wide. Make gentle circles with your hips in one direction and then the other. And then slowly step back together, hip width apart. This time, press down more through your left leg. Bring your right knee up. Strap over one shoulder, interlace your hands the funky way. And then pull and compress. So that point is now your left leg pressing down into the mat. And so as that point presses down, the crown of your head lifts. So we got just a line. Point becomes a line, right? Take the strap. Bring it across the bottom of your foot. One side of the strap is in each hand and slowly start to press that forward. Now notice if you're hiking that lifted hip up, I'm going to bring it back down. Pull your shoulder heads back. All right, so we're starting to add second dimension. That foot is coming forward. It is perpendicular to the standing leg. All right, reach down now with the left hand, choke up on the strap. Start to open your shoulders up to the side, draw that foot across midline, and extend your right arm out. So as you press down more through the standing leg, you get taller. Woo. As you press out more through your lifted foot, your right fingertips reach farther away. So expanding from the midline right at your navel center. Another deep breath in. And then out, slowly bend your standing leg or your extended leg. Remove the strap, bring both feet down, step out wide. Take some hip circles, one side and then the other. And then gazing down at your wide leg stance, toes will rotate out, heels in. Inhale, bring your arms up. Keep your kneecaps lifted. And then exhale, come down into Malasana. Bring your elbow tips to the inside of your knees. Open your chest. Inhale. And then exhale. Let your hands drop through. Finger pads will go down into the mat. And then from here, keeping your finger pads touching, start to round your back, right? We want to do this all class. So now you can finally do it. Round your back. Chin drops in towards your chest. Take a deep breath in and out. So you're more like a ball. There's no straight lines. There's no expansion. Instead, now there's just a density right at the middle. And slowly let your hips sink down. You can bring your hands back behind you for a more gentle drop to the mat. And you'll extend both legs and lower your back down. Coming into Shavasana, lift your chest, draw your shoulders underneath, and let your arms drop out to the side. Start to let that single point of focus get wider as you feel your body expand and get flatter to the earth. So that the white point and the black background begin to blur until it's just a field of gray. So there's no more edges, there's no more hardness. Perhaps now you're no longer focusing on that point, but you are that point. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Slowly bend your knees, drawing your feet in and placing them on the mat. And then drop both legs to one side. Slowly roll onto your side. And gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Draw your palms together to heart center. And then lift them up to the third eye, right between your eyebrows, middle of your forehead. Be curious. Follow your bliss. Namaste.